One day, everything feels perfect with her. She's texting you first in the morning, excitedly making plans, dropping hints that she wants to see you. And you feel like you're finally in that place where everything just clicks. She sends you selfies, playful texts, voice notes that make you smile, and you think to yourself, this is it. She's really into me. You start letting yourself believe that you've got her, that she's just as invested as you are, and for a while, it feels effortless. You look at your phone and see her name pop up, and you feel that warmth in your chest, thinking she's thinking about me. You're telling your friends about her, maybe even planning what your next dates will be. Life feels lighter, easier, because it feels like you have her energy beside you. And then, without warning, something shifts. It's subtle at first. Maybe she starts taking a bit longer to reply. Maybe her texts lose that warmth, those little emojis or playful tones that made you feel connected. She's busy, she's tired, and the plans that she was once excited about start getting postponed or canceled. You can feel it in your gut, even if you don't want to admit it. To yourself. You keep replaying your last conversations in your mind, looking for what you might have said wrong, wondering why she's pulling back. The worst part? The more you feel her slipping away, the more you feel the urge to grab on tighter, to send that double text, to ask if everything's okay, to prove to her that you're worth sticking around for. You want to remind her of how good you are together, so you overcompensate, trying harder to please her, to keep the energy alive, to get back to what you had before. But the more you chase, the faster she pulls away, and deep down you feel helpless, like you're losing something you can't control. You don't know how to stop it. Asterisk, when you feel her pulling away, your first instinct is to chase, to hold on tighter, to fix whatever you think is going wrong. It feels like the only way to stop her from slipping away is to prove to her that you care, that you're there, that you're not going to give up on her. But this instinct, as real and strong as it feels, is exactly what drives her further. Away, she starts to feel suffocated, pressured, like she can't breathe around you. And it's not because you're a bad guy, or because you're not enough, but because you're giving off the energy of fear and neediness. When someone feels your fear of losing them, they feel the weight of your expectations pressing on them. And that weight pushes them to retreat even more. The only way to move forward when she's pulling away is to do the exact opposite of what your gut is telling you. You have to pull back, not in a bitter or angry way, but in a calm, controlled way that shows you respect yourself enough to give her the space she's asking for. This means slowing down on the texting. If she takes 3 hours to reply, you take 3 hours or more. Not out of pettiness, but because you're living your life and not waiting around for her responses. You stop rearranging your entire schedule for last-minute plans. If she hits you up to hang out and you've got other plans, you keep your plans instead of dropping everything for her. You let her feel the emptiness of your absence. The quiet that comes when you stop flooding her with attention, the shift when you stop making her the center of your world. It's in that space that she starts to feel the fear of loss, the same fear you've been feeling, and she begins to wonder about you, miss you, and remember what she felt when you weren't always there waiting. Asterisk right now, she thinks she has you all figured out. She knows how you'll respond, how quickly you'll reply, how you'll always be available whenever she wants attention or comfort. She's placed you in a mental box, labeling you as the predictable, safe, easy option. And while that may feel good at first, it slowly kills her curiosity about you. People crave mystery, and when she feels like she's seen every side of you, she loses the excitement that made her want to be around you in the first place. If you want to reignite her interest, you need to disrupt those assumptions she's built about you and let her see a side of you she didn't even know existed. Think about the parts of yourself that you've kept hidden or have let fade away while you were busy focusing on her. Maybe you're competitive, driven, or have a passion for something intense, but you've been holding it back to keep the peace. Maybe you've always wanted to learn boxing or join a sports league, but kept delaying it, thinking you didn't have the time. Now is the moment to step into that version of yourself. Start living for you, not for her approval. If she sees you going to the gym, posting progress, or diving deep into a passion you've always wanted to pursue, it breaks the image she's created in her mind. She starts seeing you as layered, interesting, and hard to fully grasp again. She needs to see that you're not just sitting around waiting for her texts, that you have a life filled with goals, passions, and growth, and that you're not afraid to go after what you want. She needs to see you receiving attention from others. It's not to make her jealous in a toxic way, but to remind her that you are valuable, and others can see it too. It reawakens the chase in her, reminding her that if she doesn't step up, someone else might. Asterisk, when you give someone too much attention, it starts to lose its value, no matter how pure your intentions are. She gets used to you always being there, always replying instantly, always saying yes to last-minute plans, always validating her whenever she needs a quick ego boost. The attention you give her starts to feel like background noise, something she expects rather than appreciates. You may think you're showing her how much you care, but in her mind, it becomes predictable, easy, and something she doesn't need to earn. This is why you need to create a shift in the dynamic, allowing her to feel what it's like when your attention isn't guaranteed. The next time she texts you, don't feel the need to drop what you're doing to respond within seconds. Yourself finish what you're working on. Take your time and reply when you're ready. If she asks you to hang out last minute, don't rearrange your entire day just to accommodate her. Let her see that you have a life, priorities, and responsibilities that don't revolve around her. This doesn't mean ignoring her or playing games to make her chase you, but it means respecting your own time enough to let her see that she's not the only important thing in your life. If you've been the one constantly initiating conversations, planning dates, or trying to keep the connection alive, take a step back and let her take the lead. Let her wonder why you're not texting first, why you're not always available, why you're not chasing her like before. This subtle change in behavior forces her to realize that your attention is something she has to earn, not something she can take for granted. It builds respect, curiosity, and attraction, allowing her to experience what it's like to put in effort to keep your interest. Shifting the energy back in your favor, asterisk, one of the biggest mistakes guys make when they feel her pulling away is letting the fear of losing her take over their entire mindset. They overthink every word she says, analyze the timing of every text, and start questioning themselves, wondering if they are good enough, funny enough, attractive enough to keep her interested. This energy of desperation, even if you think you're hiding it, is felt by her deeply, and it becomes a repelling force. When you are so focused on keeping her, you stop living for yourself. You start living for her reactions, her replies, her moods, and her validation, allowing your sense of worth to rise and fall based on her attention. But here's the reality you need to embrace. The less you need her, the more attractive you become. Not because you're playing hard to get, but because you are no longer placing your entire identity in her hands. You begin to live in a state where you genuinely know that you'll be fine with or without her. You want her, but you don't need her to feel complete. You enjoy her presence, but you don't need her to validate your existence. You stop bending over backward to please her, and instead, you start prioritizing your own happiness, your goals, and your personal growth. When you step into this mindset, you reclaim your power, and it changes the way you interact with her naturally. You stop being reactive and start becoming calm and grounded, and that energy is magnetic. She will sense that you're not checking your phone every 5 minutes waiting for her reply. She will feel that you're not emotionally shaken if she takes longer to respond or if she's busy. Ironically, it's when you stop fearing the loss that she starts to realize your worth, and she feels drawn to the strength and stability you radiate.